For the 10-minute presentation, you've been called back by the company you gave the full presentation to for a second visit. We've asked you to speak only about the ethical aspects of the problem and to explain why your solution successfully handles any ethical issues. You'll have 10 minutes, and I will keep track on my handy dandy iPhone. I'll try to give you a 2-minute warning when we're getting close to the end. No Q&A, no slides, no video, just you and the judge. And I see you've got 2 members, and that's appropriate. So just signal me whenever you're ready, and I'll start the clock.
Water. Whether you are fortunate enough for it to come filtered from the sink in your kitchen,
or if you rely on bottled water for your healthy source of water.
we all have to have it.
Leonardo da Vinci once said that water is the driving force of all nature, but former Nestle CEO Brabeck said that it is a commodity.
So, what is it?
Thank you for your time today. We would like to lay the groundwork for our relationship to you for your understanding. We are Top Hat Consulting, and you are the board members of the Suwannee River Water Management District Governing Board, and we are advising you on the case at hand. Hi, my name is Clyde Tucker, and I am joined by my colleague, Emma Faircloth. Think about a time when you were faced with an ethical dilemma where no outcome was a clear winner. Now let's talk about the dilemma that we're faced with right now.
Do we recommend that you as a board renew the permit for a company that, on one hand, commoditizes water, but on the other hand, champions themselves as stewards of sustainable development in the areas of clean water and decent job creation? This here is an ethical argument. Water is a human right in terms that it should be readily available to everyone, which with the High Springs bottling facility, Nestle will be able to reach more customers and provide those with water who need it.
Now, in the past, Nestle has been at the forefront of a multitude of environmental and social issues, such as deliberately misleading language within ad campaigns, sourcing water without a permit, and frankly, their own CEO, former CEO of course, stating that water is a commodity, which was not a good look for this company. So there really is a question, do you want a seemingly unethical company like this in your backyard? Well, we say that it actually could be a good thing.
So here are the ethical pros of renewing Nestle's permit to pump over 1 million gallons of water from Ginnie Springs. The first thing we would like to address is the increased and sustained employment for the community that will be attainable with this permit if approved. Over 171 jobs will be created in just Gilchrist County from the High Springs bottling facility, which relies on the permit renewal. Furthermore, we will see an increased Florida fiscal impact of over $25 million of taxable value that will be realized on the bottling facility. Phase 1 expansion of the High Springs facility includes the renovation of 2 bottling lines and is estimated to be complete by 2021. After build out, the factory will be generating immense profits that will help the surrounding community, as well as the increased jobs that we see. Furthermore, the water levels of the springs need to be sustained, and Nestle realizes that there is a sustainable yield for the springs that needs to be constantly realized, because if it goes under a certain level, it could be critical. So Nestle understands this, and with the practice of recharging the springs and understanding that sustainable yield, Nestle will be able to ensure that the springs stay here for the public's enjoyment and for the enjoyment of the community, and frankly, just making more water and increasing the High Springs facility. So lastly, the springs upkeep. So we see that the Ray family, they own the land of Ginnie Springs, and with Nestle coming in and with the permit renewal, the Ray family, they actually get to realize more revenue, which makes them able to upkeep the surrounding ecosystem of the springs and just the overall upkeep of the springs and the grounds, The Ray family will be able to have more revenue just for that with Nestle coming in. So we're not here though to play defense for Nestle. We're here to make the right decision and for the right reason. We're here to come to a decision on whether or not this permit renewal will help or hinder the surrounding community, environment, stakeholders, and Florida as a whole.
So with all of these appealing ethical pros, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, who gets hurt with this permit renewal? Suwannee River Water Management District's reputation, we found, could be hurt with the renewal of this permit. Legal challenges of your decisions could arise out of public outcry. We have seen this case reach even national attention, and you as a board could easily be thrust into a defense that you might not see is worth it. Secondly, Nestle Waters North America. Nestle's reputation in the form of the seemingly evil task of pumping over 1 million gallons of water per day out of the springs would hurt their reputation, due to the outpouring of arguments as well by the environmental community at large. And lastly, the local ecosystem could be hurt because of this decision. Native wildlife could be adversely affected if the spring recharge rate suddenly slows, thus hurting many species that rely on the water for survival.
Now you might be thinking, who's to say we're not going to end up like Strawberry Creek in California, your own backyard, where Nestle had a permit, but was pumping water during a drought, leaving the creek impaired?
Well, here's how we can prevent that type of abuse. We say that you as a board renew the permit, but put on a condition of revisiting the permit every year for its term of 5 years. We offer you a second option. We say that you renew the permit, but create a committee to conduct research of Nestle's bottling facility in High Springs, Florida, in order to meet with top management and workers to ensure that workers' rights are even being respected. We also think you should task the committee with visiting Ginnie Springs in order to ensure that recreational use is not being hindered. These recommendations are not mutually exclusive, but they are at your discretion as a board.
One thing we wanted to bring to your attention, the Brundtland Report, published in 1987 by the United Nations, sought to develop a path towards sustainability, which is the foundation for today's leading global framework for international cooperation. Reaching the United Nations Universal Sustainable Development Goals require action from governments, communities, companies like Nestle. If this permit is renewed, can Nestle meet these goals and be environmentally sustainable and still make a profit?
And with assuredness, we say yes, 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 they absolutely can. The permit renewal will help the surrounding community, environment, and stakeholders through providing monetary benefit to the state and acting in the best interest of the public and the springs. Now, with the permit renewal, Nestle can ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation. And with the power of the marketplace, Nestle can help promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth with full and productive employment and decent work for all.
2 minutes.
So with our closure, we wanted to remind you of the Brundtland Report's definition on sustainability. Development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Thank you.